Once upon a time, in a certain village in India, there lived a guru. Now, every evening the guru would sit on his seat and deliver a lecture to the public. He would speak on various topics such as spirituality, morality, better living, leading a purposeful life, etc. It so happened that the guru had a cat, and that was very fond of him. And every time he sat to deliver his lecture, the cat would distract and disturb him, wanting to play with him. Now, the cat would walk amongst the crowd. It would wind itself around the people's leg, mew at them, crawl into their laps to be stroked. Now, the regular visitors too began getting very fond of that cat. But the cat's presence was more of an inconvenience and distraction during the lecture. And so it was decided, while the guru was teaching, the cat should be tied to a wooden pillar. So a special stake was erected with a leash and a harness attached to it. And every time the guru taught, the cat would be strapped into the harness and then tied to the wooden pillar. Now, people would often bring an offering for the cat at his stake, feed the cat, play with it, and then sit for the discourse. Now, everyone was happy with this arrangement, as the cat was now contented and did not disturb anyone during the lecture. One day, the guru died, and the people of the village were very sad and they mourned very deeply. However, the guru had an assistant who over the years was trained in conducting the discourse. The new guru began to teach the regular visitors, and the cat would first be tied to the wooden stake, fed, and then he would begin his lecture just the same way his predecessors had done. Now, years passed, and one day the cat died of old age. The cat was mourned by the daily visitors, and after a week, a new cat was brought to the ashram. The new cat was then tied to the wooden stake, fed, and played with before the lecture was delivered by the guru. Decades later, the same practice was followed, and it is said that one of the renowned followers even wrote an elaborate argument and methodical discussion on the spiritual significance of tying a cat to the wooden stake before beginning one's studies of the scripture. Friends, this story is an adaptation from the book The Song of the Bird by Anthony de Mello, illustrating how customs and rituals are many times established and become a part of our culture. Once established, these customs, traditions and rituals are blindly followed for years, despite the fact that they have lost their significance and have outlived their utility and meaning. It's a beautiful allegory of how often we individuals, communities and nations also do things because they have always been done. We often follow the status quo without questioning why things are the way they are. The story is a sweet reminder to us to use our discernment and to be flexible, practical and sensible while dwelling in the essence of why things were done in a particular way, even in the task we consider as sacred. It's a reminder to be alert in the present as opposed to be dogmatic or doing things in a particular way because they have always been done in the past. Even today, we are victims of our rituals. There are so many pointless religious rituals, work practices and personal habits we follow blindly solely based on the fact that somewhere in the past it was considered as a norm by someone. The story of the Guru's cat is an invitation to review what we do habitually and the need to introspect. Why do we do what we do? Why do we say what we say? Why do we use what we use? Is what we are doing still appropriate and beneficial today? Is what we are doing on a daily basis still achieving what it was originally intended to do? Or is it perhaps leading to confusion, distraction and clutter? Friends, it can happen that we get so caught up on the externals that we lose sight of the essentials. Even in our families and homes, whenever a tradition or a ritual is questioned, the answer is always the same. This is the way we have always done it in our family. And that is exactly how traditions and rituals get perpetuated through unquestioning obedience, irrational fear and blind faith. So many practices still thrive around the world on this one excuse: we have always done it in this way and we do not have to change. How come we abandon all reason, judgment and humanity when it comes to traditions and faith? Why is there reluctance even to question it and understand it, even from people who suffer under the weight of it? Each one of us has the intrinsic right to decide what traditions are worth preserving and what are the ones that need revision, and which all need to be discarded as needless junk. Times have changed, and with them, certain unreasonable traditions are meant to fade away. Trust in your abilities to know what is right for you. Finally, we need to follow traditions and customs that humanize us, those that help us to live peaceful and contented lives, and those that are good for us and for our environment.